Growing up the son of Big Sid, I certainly learned to appreciate that my dad was well known and well respected. And as I move through life, it is really true that more often than not, if I end up in a circle of people who are into bikes, somebody's heard of my dad.
All my friends call me Big Sid. I was raised as a butcher when I had to manhandle sides of beef that could weigh 600 pounds. Started with a Whizzer, which was an add-on, a motor kit that you would put on a bicycle. I loved this sense of freedom it gave me, and I loved to work with things mechanical. Even as a kid, I built transmitters and mechanical things.
Well, the story is that my dad had relocated to Louisville. I opened the door one Sunday and found him clutching a pillow over his chest, and he was in the midst of a heart attack and he really just wanted to die. And I took him to the hospital, and the doctors took me outside and said, if he doesn't come up with a reason to live, he's not gonna live. And I came back the next day with some stuff to look at just to kind of cheer him up. And it was literally an envelope with pictures in it. And I said to him, "What's that one there?" And he looked at it and he said, "Oh, it's a Vincati." And I said, "Okay, well, we've got to build one." We'd never done that before. And 5 years later, we did.
It's a mating of a Vincent 1000cc V-twin engine in a 1973 Ducati GT twin chassis. So it becomes a Vincati.
The horsepower inside this motor doesn't know it's 60 years old. It's good old horsepower. Why don't we just put it in a chassis that offers you modern brakes, modern suspension, modern electrics, modern handling, and you'll have a really cool bike to ride.
It was a clever ploy of his to snap me out of a deep depression, and it worked.
So my best memories from when my dad was a young man in the prime of life and I was old enough to ride on the street was going out with him on his Vincent and me on the Ducati. And that's why when I saw that picture of the Vincati in the hospital, it immediately struck me as a project that we needed to do because it crossed the two bikes of our youth.
Matthew learned very, very early. The first bike that he had was a little Honda dirt bike, and then he moved from that to riding my Matchless and occasionally the Vincent. So he was gradually working up to bigger bikes.
It took us 5 years to build the Vincati, so the experience of working with my dad during those 5 years was a rhythm of life itself. I mean, my daughter grew up, all kinds of things happened in those 5 years. My dad aged more and got weaker, and things fell more to me to have to do.
He's, for good reason, an English professor, a master at the 17th century, Shakespeare and Milton and all those ancient cats, because it suits his intellect. Where I got beyond high school and was drafted.
For the first time. One thing that I've always admired about my dad is he has this laser-like obsessive focus on motorcycles and on pursuing his craft with them. And it is amazing to see somebody at 79 still as passionately engaged with stuff that he has been passionately engaged with since he was a little kid. And I envy that. You know, I wonder, am I going to wake up when I'm 79 and can't wait to talk about Shakespeare or try to write a novel or something like that? It was a kind of Hail Mary type of thing to try to reinterest him in this stuff, and it did work. That part was very satisfying. There is a reason why this is the 7th one built in the world. It takes a tremendous amount of skill and perseverance to figure out how to get it to all work right. And I am amazed that we did it. It's a lot of fun to ride, and I hope that I ride it a lot more, and I hope that ultimately my daughter gets it and that she puts a lot of miles on it too. So it is not just something to look at, and there might be more stories in the Vincati to come.